Hey everybody, Happy New Year. Man, 2024, can you believe it? We made it. All right, so today we're going to do a couple little different things. We're going to uh, not look at Comics Den books today. Instead, we're going to get some other stuff out of the way because it's going to take a long time to get through all these Comics Den books. So I want to try and stay a little more current as things come in and things happen. So once in a while, I'll do an episode like this where we're going to look at some other stuff, and then we'll jump back into the Comics Den books probably tomorrow. And but one thing I wanted to show you right off the bat is this is a backing board for a comic, and I've been going through my comics, sorting them out, rebagging some of them, and I pulled this board out, and yeah, I've asked a couple different times of different people, never really gotten a good answer on which side of the board are you supposed to store your comic on, the shiny side or the dull side. And I would say that judging by this, I have a couple boards like this. You're supposed to do them on the shiny side because obviously whatever was on this side transposed onto the actual board. Now, if anybody out there has any more information on how this happens, because I don't think this is just from it's sitting in the bag. I mean, there's got to be some heat issues or something that causes this, I would think, other than just being on the board. But anyway, if anybody has any information on how that kind of thing happens, I'd be interested to know. I know Dr. Skull mentioned in the comments about dust burn. He was explaining dust burn to me, which I'd never heard of before. And some of those comics that I got from him that had that dark streak down the side that I attributed to like the sun burning them is actually a dust burn. So they're in attics, they're laying in attics, they get dust on them because they're in piles. So they'll have like an edge of dust along the edge. And then because they're in the attic and it gets hot in the summer, he said he got those books from Maryland, and the attics will get up to 100 degrees, and so the heat actually burns the dust into the comic book, which I'd never heard of that before. I've seen them, and I always attributed it to the sun because that's an issue too. But I've never heard that before, so that was something new to me. And I was wondering what this was, if anybody has more information on this kind of thing. But anyway, another thing I'm going to show you today, which I've talked about a couple times, but I don't think I've ever actually showed you on the channel, is I've talked about like laminating my covers. And this isn't something, anybody that's buying for investment would want to do. This isn't something you would want to do. I only do it on covers that I don't have any other way to save the book because, this cover has had it, obviously, but it's still technically pretty much all there. And I happen to have a laminator, and I happen to have laminating sheets, and I thought, well, I'll try laminating it. And I did a couple of them. I've done 3 or 4, so this may be my 5th one. And I only do it on covers that just, they're not really salvageable otherwise. So, but I thought it'd be fun to just show me doing one. So we're gonna do this Roy Rogers one that I got in the Comics Den books. That's got this really bad cover, and that's the wrong end, I guess. There we go. So this opens up, and I can put the one cover in here. And normally I'll just go up to the top as far as I can, and because I'm gonna have to trim it afterwards, I'll, instead of just putting it in the middle somewhere, I'll try to go to the top. And you can't go all the way to the top. There has to be some laminate around the edge. So the cover will actually come out bigger than the book. And then, I just piece the cover together as best I can. And all the little pieces put together as much as I can get it. And, the alternative is basically just letting the letting the whole thing deteriorate into nothingness. So I don't feel like I'm ruining the book. I feel like I'm saving it for my collection. And then I got this little laminator. I got this at Aldi's years ago. Because in my business with the arcade, sometimes I have to make little signs for the machines and stuff, and I like to laminate them so they look nicer. And so it's got a cold and a hot setting. Says it's ready. I normally put it on hot, but I didn't. So let's try it on cold, see what happens. And it's not coming on. Why isn't it coming on? Did I break it? Maybe I have to turn it on heat. Turn it off, turn it back on again. Is it plugged in? Oh, I don't have it plugged in. Duh. There we go. Alrighty. So that's going to warm up a little bit. And while I'm waiting for that, I can do... I'm going to pause this video for a second, guys. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. My mom was calling for me. The TV station changed to something she didn't like, and she doesn't understand how to operate a modern TV with the with the menus and all that. So got that taken care of, and we are back in business. This one's a little bit rough around the edges here. I think we're going to end up with some fold over on some of this, probably a little bit. Oh, not too bad. But anyway, the laminator is good to go now. It's heated up already, so we're just going to stick this in here. It will come out laminated. And we are going to show some books today. We got some eBay wins that we'll be going through, so that'll be coming up. Hope everybody had a great holiday season. Hope you're enjoying your New Year's, watching football or whatever you're doing. And thanks for stopping by to share some time with me. And we're also going to do a little mini What Am I Reading for Brain Boy #1 from Dark Horse in 2013. That was an interesting read. I've never read any of the Dell original Brain Boy, so I don't have anything to compare it to the old version. But so yeah, Roy Rogers is laminated. For some reason, it curved the thing at the top here. I'm not sure why it did that. It doesn't usually do that to me, but I'm gonna end up trimming that part off anyway. And then we're gonna do the back. Let me make sure I've got this trimmed the same way. Is this the front or the back? That's the inside. So yeah, I actually want this turned the other way. That way the straight edge on the end that I'm not going to trim will match up well with the other cover, even though they're not really going to be a cover anymore. They're going to be more of a folder for the book. And that should come off pretty well. So anyway, yeah, I hope everybody had a great holiday season. Hope you're keeping that Christmas spirit alive. Hope whatever troubles you're having are few. At this point, it is, let's see, I'm recording this actually on Christmas Eve day. So I don't know how the sales are going yet. Or actually, we won't do a sale yet. Our first sale is the 6th, right? So yeah, Saturday we'll be doing our first claim sale. Everything will be $2. Some of the books you've been seeing, you go through will be up for sale, as well as some other ones from past hauls and out of my own collection. And it won't all be. There will be some books, not a whole lot, but a few books will be previous to 1990. So 80s, even some older stuff. So all right, I'm gonna put this back to cold so it could cool off. Gonna turn it off. Just gonna put that back on the floor out of the way. So yeah, we've got two hot off the press laminated things ready to go here. So I can. Oh, they're a little bit off center. I usually get them better than that, just a hair off, so they don't match up quite perfectly. But yeah. So and then what I'll do is I'll trim. I'll cut along here. I'll cut along there, and then I'll use the archival tape to connect them together, and it will just be a nice little folder that I can stick the coverless copy into, and it will still have the appearance of a pretty nice copy, even though it's obviously just trash that nobody but me would want for the most part. Maybe Easy Comic Writer would want it. But I keep calling him Easy Comic Writer. It's Easy Comic Reader. And so yeah, I just cut it up. And I got those off center a little bit. Gonna trim that one. And I do kind of try to round off the edge, just because when you're trying to put it in the bags, because I still bag it, because I want to protect the insides as well. And so yeah, I just kind of round it off the corner a little bit, much as I can. Try to cut both of them at the same time so they're perfectly matched. And then I want to. It curled both of those. I don't know why I did that. It's never done that before. I wonder if there's a burr or something in there that's causing that. But anyway, I'm just going to trim them off anyway. And so when you talk about when you hear me talk about laminating covers, I only do it to ones like this where it doesn't. Yeah, there's really no other alternative. I mean, I know, there's guys out there on YouTube that will do the whole, they'll create paper pulp and and so forth, and acid baths and all that stuff. That's quite a bit more involved than I want to get into. I'm a tape kind of guy, and when I tape, I use this tape. I use library archival tape. I don't use Scotch tape. I don't use stuff that's actually going to damage the book. I use stuff that's going to preserve the book. So yeah, this is actually not the best job that I've done on one. This is probably because I'm working here at the desk instead of the kitchen counter like I usually do. But anything's better than what it was, because what it was being destroyed, right? If I'd have left it, it would have just self-destructed and destroyed itself. So I feel like we saved it. And my archival tape doesn't want to come off. I'll do this later. You saw the important part. You saw what it's going to look like. So it can still be enjoyed. It can still be read. And life goes on for that comic. So that's cool. Let's get to, please like and subscribe. Thank you. And Brain Boy 2013 #1. So this was an interesting read. And this is going to go in the sale pile. But I wanted to read it before I tried to sell it. So it's from Dark Horse. It was, I meant to I meant to actually look up and do some little research on this one, and I forgot. Let me pull it up on GCD real quick. And see if this was a mini series or an ongoing or what it was. I don't know because I never looked it up. I meant to. All right, Brain Boy, Dark Horse. Looks like it was a 3-issue miniseries, and then it had a follow-up miniseries the next year. So this is story-wise. Sorry, looking for my magnifying glass again. It's right here. Story by Fred Van Lent. Pencils by R.B. Silva. Inks by Rob Lean, and so on and so forth. The cover was by Ariel Olivetti, and a variant cover by Juan Doe. So this is probably the regular cover, I would imagine. It's a cool cover, and his story is, so Brain Boy is a telepath, right? He's like a really high-level telepath. He was raised by scientists, by some kind of government program, and it's an interesting read. It's a little bit different. Let me get my camera back on here so I can see what you guys are seeing. And the writing is good. The story is good. The art is great. I don't want to say it's an adult comic, but it is a bit vulgar, I guess is the appropriate word. He reads people's minds, so he sees their thoughts. He can see what they're thinking, and they're not necessarily the best of people. At one point in the story, he's supposed to be protecting this guy who is a visiting dignitary, but is basically a dictator. And somebody throws piss on him at the riot, and so on and so forth. So when he peeks into the guy's mind to see what he's like, this is what the guy actually thinks of himself. Sees himself as this dictator. Sees himself as being this benefactor to his country's children or something. So it's an interesting read, and it's probably right up Aaron's Psychotronic Squirt Guns alley, because it's all telepathic powers and stuff. And then he runs into this problem where, so because he got the piss thrown on him, he has to go clean himself up. Now, he's not supposed to leave the dignitary at all, but when he comes back, the dignitary's gone while he was taking a shower. Just the 5 minutes he was gone, somebody snatched him. He can't read any thoughts. He can't find. So he runs up against this character who is somehow there blocking his ability, and he's never run into that before. So it's an interesting read. It's a pretty good story, and that was the end. It kind of it's a 3-issue miniseries. I don't have the other ones, so I liked it. Like I said, it had a little bit of vulgarity to it. Nothing obscene, nothing terrible. Just a little bit of more of an adult take to a comic book. So anyway, that's going into the sale pile. Let me throw that into the sale books. It'll be for sale this Saturday. And then I got these books in from Dr. Skull. Well, I'll leave a card to his videos channels at the end. I don't think I've done that for him yet. And these are the books I told you about several episodes ago. I told you about the fiasco eBay created with the trying to require people to pay immediately or automatically once the auction won. So So yeah, this is the aftermath of that a little bit, because he had to go ahead and send me the first 2 books in all the books I was bidding on. But then he threw in all these books to make it up to me, and he didn't have to do that. So he's a hell of a nice guy. Yeah, it was eBay's fault, not his. I completely understood that. But so these 2 I chose. These 2 are ones he sent, and we're just gonna go through them. So first off, we got Pep Comics number 226, 12-cent cover. This would have been 70s or possibly 60s. Oh yeah, 60s, 1969. So that's cool. And it's got a actual, what's probably an early issue of them as the Archies. So because the first story is about their band, it looks like, which I thought was cool. And then we have a rare lingerie panel in an Archie comic from the 1960s in this one. It's just on display. It's not on like Betty or Veronica or anything, but interesting. And little Jinx stories in there. Some more Archie stories. So looks like a fun read. It's from that time period where the Archies were fun, I think. All right, and I'm sorry for the glare. I left the light on. You know what? Let me reduce the glare real quick. Real quick. Sorry, guys. We're making do with what we got here. My lighting kit looks like it's not going to come in until the day before the claim sale, so Friday is when I'll get my lighting kit. So hopefully I can get that all set up and figured out before the claim sale, because otherwise I'm going to look like an idiot. So there we go. It's a little bit darker, but there isn't as much glare. So sorry about that. We'll try to get a focus in here better. So this one is Reggie's Wise Guy Jokes. This is Archie Giant Series number 7. But I think, yeah, this isn't Archie Giant Series. This is Reggie's Wise Guy Jokes number 7. So it's just a giant. Like I said, sometimes it's hard to tell the Archie Giant Series from the regular series that had giant issues. But so that's what that is. And then let's see what surprise books he sent. Right, we've got Power Shazam, always a great series. Number 13, number 23. I have these, so these will be going into the claim sale. But man, look at those great Jerry Ordway covers, man. Just fantastic stuff. I've shown most of this series before, and they're just, man, the covers alone are worth the $2, you know, that I'm going to charge. So it's, yeah, just beautiful books. Here we got Odyssey of the Amazons number 1, long before Wonder Woman. So this is a 6-issue series from DC. This is number 1. It's obviously a more modern comic. So this will probably, unfortunately, go into the sale as well. Although, this is probably going to be a hard book to find in the future. Because they probably didn't make a whole lot of them. It's Wonder Woman related, and just the Wonder Womans are hard to find, let alone one that like this. I don't know. I'll have to decide. We got Poison Ivy number 3 of 6. So Poison Ivy Cycle of Life and Death is the name of the series. You got the Poison Ivies hanging out on the cover in more ways than one. So yeah, I don't know anything about this series either. Obviously, it's a newer one. I don't know why I'm putting them up. I should be putting them up first so you guys can see them. Here's number 6 of 6, something from Marvel called Mechanics. Mechanics. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. I would pronounce it Mechanics, but I'm assuming that this is that character I've never heard of. It's written by Chris Claremont. She does have an X-Men logo on her shirt there, so it's got some kind of mutant-related character that Chris Claremont, I guess, came up with in more recent years. This is actually from 2003, so not familiar with that one either. Shadow of the Bat. Number 1. Batman Shadow of the Bat, number 1. You know, I thought I had made a list of which ones of these I had and which ones I didn't. It's not here. Oh boy. All right, so yeah, number 1, Batman Shadow of the Bat, very cool. I don't think I had this one. Detective Comics 500. This one I do not have, and I've always wanted this ever since it first came out. And I've just never ran across a copy that I wanted to pay for. This is from 1981, so yeah, right back when I just thought this was the coolest thing. I couldn't afford it as a kid. It was $1.50. I just wasn't going to pay that much for a comic book, even though I wanted it. It's got this cool wraparound cover with the characters all coming out of their comic books, and yeah, just cool stuff. I'm really happy to get that. It's a pretty beat up copy, but I've always wanted one of those, so that's awesome. Awesome stuff. Spectacular Spider-Man number 49, another cool issue. Again, it's worn out, but I don't care. That's as you guys know, that's right in my wheelhouse. This is exactly what I want. Bottom staples loose, top staples coming off, but you know, I just, they're comic books. They're supposed to be cheap. So that's right up my aisle, and I can probably get this sticker off the cover too. That's right here. That'll probably come off with a razor blade and a little water or something. Everything's Archie number 108. Archie, how did you drop your change? Just lucky, I guess. All right, so yeah, Archie's a little bit of a pervert on that cover, but okay. 1983. Very cool. And he had a bunch of these for sale. I only bought one because I wasn't sure what they were like. Oh, this is the one I bought. This is one he threw in. So yeah, I still have one of these coming that I haven't paid for yet. Because I'm waiting for all the auctions to end that I'm bidding on. And so he'll combine, when that happens, he'll combine shipping and then I'll get them in. But yeah, Treasure Chest of Fun and Fact. This one's from 1969. So apparently this is a series that used to be either sold in schools or given out in schools. Probably similar to, or perhaps even from the same companies that did the like the religious comics, the biblical series that would be distributed in Sunday schools. Except this is for actual schools. So a variety of stuff in here, some stories. There's some kind of cereal in the front. There's got some comic pages that are just funny. Cool art. It looks like top-notch artists that you would see in the other books from other publishers. And but the cover is cool too, and it's loose. But this cover is actually a game. You start here. You roll the dice. If you land on a star, you do whatever it tells you to do, whether you lose a turn or you go back or whatever. And so that's kind of cool. I like that. I thought that was neat. I've never seen that on a cover before. I thought that was a great idea. And then we got bag number 2. Got Wild Times DV8. This was a one-shot from Wildstorm during their DC days. This is from 1999. And there was a series of Wild Times issues, but they were all one-shots for various titles. I don't really know any more than that about it. That's just what I found on the internet when I looked it up. And here we have Fantastic Four, the world's greatest comic magazine, number 12. And maybe a week or so ago, I read the most recent issue of Fantastic Four, and it was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. There's not that many modern comics I enjoy. Although there are more lately. I know it's been a while since I read a Marvel comic, honestly, because they just haven't been that great. But this Fantastic Four popped up in my feed, and I read that, and it was really good. I know I started reading at the beginning of this series, and somewhere I dropped it off, or I didn't seek it out anymore. But the most recent issue, they had there was a guy who had an app, a free app. People were being rewarded for doing what was supposed to be acts of kindness, but he had this algorithm running where what they did changed the future in ways that would benefit him. And I just thought that was such a brilliant concept for a story, for a villain to do in Fantastic Four. I really, really thought that. I was really impressed by that writing. Just that idea. That was incredible. So yeah, Fantastic Four. He sent me that one. Secret Defenders number 4. I think I already have this one, but regardless, it's probably from the 90s, so it's going to go in the sale. Oh, yep, 93. So another Life with Archie. Worst case of spring fever I've ever seen. All right, that's pretty corny. Got a big old cigarette burn up on the cover here, or something like that. And this one is from 1971. And Archie's Girls, Betty's and Veronica, number 178. And it's got some bad staining on it. The cover is chipping away here on the bottom. I'm gonna have to tape that to so it won't continue to fade away. And this is from 1970. And Donald Duck, cool. Well, that's in my wheelhouse. Donald Duck, 12-cent cover. Somebody who grew up to be a doctor autographed it because I can't read the name. And this is from 1965, number 102. Donald Duck. Oh, it's got a big chunk missing up here. Yeah. Oh, the rest of it is over here. Okay, so it's still readable because for some reason that chunk of the page is stuck to here. Must have been from whatever they spilled on it. There's some water stains up here, made that stick and come off, but it's still there, so it's still readable. I wonder if I can actually remove that and stick it back into the page. That might be doable. Maybe. All right, so yeah, this is from the period when they reprinted the cover on the back as a pinup. So that's kind of cool. And the Flintstones from Charlton, number 25. Got a really pretty bad cover here, but not so terrible. that I can't live with it. From 1971, especially as hard as these are to find. So yeah, there's some cool stuff in here. Thank you very much, Dr. Skull. I appreciate your kindness in sending these. I will be keeping at least half of them, it looks like. And so thank you very much. And that will wrap up this video. Although, you know what, as long as we're at the end anyway, and I didn't have anything else planned for this video, let's see if I can actually get this chunk of page off of here with a razor blade. I'm gonna, give me a second, guys. I'm gonna zoom in here so you can see me either do it or fail miserably. All right, there we are. So you can see the chunk of page here. You can see over here better where it came from, right there. And we're just going to try and, because it's already loose down here, if I can separate this, I can tape it back into the other page and be perfectly happy with my copy. Got to be very gentle. So I have it loose on that corner. I have it loose over here. And man, it's just not coming off as much as I would like it to. All right, well, maybe I can apply some heat. Find my mom's old hair dryer and see if that will help loosen that up, because something has definitely bonded that to the other page. So anyway, that's as far as I'm going to take it today. I think I'm just going to rip that if I try to do any more on it. So I'll dig out a hair dryer and see if I can loosen that up. Didn't know I was going to start restoring so much stuff. But it's all fun. We enjoy what we're doing. And thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. And shout out to Dr. Skull. Like I said, I'm getting these old books. Now, these are ones that he sent me. Yeah, these were all gifted ones, except for those two Archies that I actually purchased. So don't think that these are the quality. The quality of the books I've been getting from him are a step above these, definitely. And he marks in there, in his auctions, whether they're complete or not. So, which most people don't do. You've seen me get a lot of incomplete books because people sell them without checking. So I really appreciate what I'm getting from him. So if you want to check him out, he's got two channels. Or he's got two eBay channels that he sells through. The other one is more modern stuff, but they're all still 99 cents mostly, unless he runs across something, a little bit better. And you should check him out. So check out. There should be a card popping up right about now, because I'm gonna do that when I edit the video on Facebook. And that's it. See you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Tomorrow we'll get into some more Comics Den books, and we will see you then. Bye.